Good morning. In this video, we take a look at Amazon Web Services, or AWS, and look at the various services that are available under an AWS subscription. Again, this video will be a very high-level preview because, as you see, AWS has a lot of components to it. Okay, so let's get into it. I'm currently here at my console homepage because I kind of put these together. I added widgets so that when I come in here, I can see, the health of my AWS platform. Now, this welcome to AWS widget here, I had it here when I first started this account, but I don't need it now, so I can remove it. All right, I can look at how much my monthly costs are. I can look at how much my forecasted month end costs will be, et cetera, et cetera. So there's and then here I have a AWS support developer, which is $29 a month. And this is useful for when you're working on projects that you need help with, right? So Amazon has developers on their end that can help you with certain things. They can't fix every problem for you, but they can help you do stuff. And then these are what I'm paying per services. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the various services in AWS. So I'm going to go here to this icon and I'm going to click on all services and I'll view all services. Again, as I mentioned, you can see there's a ton of services here. And then the services are broken down into these sections, which is still quite a lot. So I'll click on, again, view all services so we can take a look at what services we have available. Services are broken down by category. Okay, so we're just going to scroll down to give you a look at how many services there are in AWS. And we'll step to the next category. Well, the very first category, which is compute. And then under compute, we have EC2, Lightsail, Lambda, Batch, Elastic, Beanstalk, Serverless Application Repository, AWS Outposts, EC2 Image Builder, AWS App Runner, and AWS SIM Space Weaver. So these are all applications that are available to me under my subscription. Again, in this video, we're taking a very high level approach. So we're just going to look at all these services, get a sense of what's going on here, what all these categories contain. And then in the next video, we'll do deeper dives per category, right? Because obviously, doing a deeper dive into each one of these services is going to take hours. All right. So the next category we're going to look at is containers. And under containers, you have Elastic Container Registry, Elastic Container Service, Elastic Kubernetes Service, Red Hat OpenShift Service on AWS. The third category of services we're going to look at is storage. Storage has S3, EFS, FSX, S3 Glacier, Storage Gateway, AWS Backup, AWS Elastic Disaster Recovery. Now, I've used AWS S3 for several projects. One notably, I had a WordPress website hosted on GoDaddy, but the back end, I needed better storage, right? I needed a streaming type of storage platform, which is highly available, et cetera, and with more space. I mean, GoDaddy wasn't offering me the kind of storage that I needed. So we ended up having to use S3 for storage to a WordPress front end. All right, the next service category we're looking at is database. So the first one is RDS, and then we have Elasticache, we have Neptune, we have Amazon QLDB, There's also Amazon Document DB. The next one is Amazon Key Spaces. There's also Amazon Time Stream, Dynamo DB, and Amazon Memory DB for Redis. And again, in the next video, we'll tackle category by category and go through, do a deeper dive. Next category section is migration and transfer. And under that, we have AWS Migration Hub, AWS Application Migration Service, Application Discovery Service, Database Migration Service, AWS Transfer Family, AWS Snow Family, Data Sync, AWS Mainframe Modernization. The next category here is networking and content delivery. Under that, we have VPC, CloudFront, Route 53, API Gateway, Direct Connect, AWS App Mesh, AWS Cloud Map, Global Accelerator, Route 53 Application Recovery Controller, AWS Private 5G. That sounds pretty interesting. A little curious as to what that is all about. The next category here is developer tools, and under that we have CodeStar, Code Commit, Code Artifact, Code Build, Code Deploy, Code Pipeline, Cloud9, Cloud Shell, X-Ray, AWS FIS, Amazon Code Catalyst, AWS App Config, Amazon Code Whisperer, and Application Composer. And, all this makes a lot of sense with all this code, and then application, because obviously you're talking about developer tools. The next section we want to look at is the customer enablement, AWS IQ, managed services, Activate for startups, support. The next one is robotics, AWS RoboMaker. That sounds pretty interesting. Blockchain, Amazon managed blockchain. That's also interesting. The next one is satellite, which under that we have just one service, same as the one above it. It's ground station. There's also quantum technologies where we have Amazon Bracket. As you can see, Amazon is packing a lot of services. It's in the service industry, Amazon really came in and kicked out. Well, not kicked out, but they brought really good competition to already established computer service companies like IBM, Microsoft, etc. So the next one we want to look at is management and governance. And under that looks like we have a lot of services here, but so under management and governance, we have AWS organizations, we have CloudWatch, AWS auto scaling, Cloud Formation, Config, OpsWorks, Service Catalog, Systems Manager, Trusted Advisor, Control Tower, AWS License Manager, AWS Well-Architected Tool. That sounds interesting. AWS Health Dashboard, AWS Chatbot. That's also interesting. Launch Wizard, AWS Compute Optimizer, Resource Groups and Tag Editor, Amazon Grafana, Amazon Prometheus, AWS Resilience Hub, Incident Manager, AWS Proton, CloudTrail, AWS Resource Explorer, and AWS Telco Network Builder. Down here we have media services, which contain services such as Kinesis, video streams, Media Convert. Now, Media Convert, I think I did some research on that, and we'll get deeper into it. But I think what it's actually doing is that, we'll get deeper into it, but it has something to do with converting media that's uploaded. So let's say you upload files in one extension, then Media Convert can convert that media file into different extensions, I believe. The next one is Media Live, Media Package, Media Store, Media Tailor, Elemental Appliances and Software, Elastic Transcoder, Nimble Studio, Media Connect. Oh, wow. Okay. So yeah, I did say Media Convert, and then this one is Media Connect. So it's kind of similar almost. The last one here is Amazon Interactive Video Service. This one here, Elastic Transcoder, I did a project, the project that I did where I worked on where I had to use a WordPress front end and a S3 backend, had to use Elastic Transcoder. So that's also a very, really important service under media services. All right, so we're going to start from the next column up here. We're going into machine learning. That also seems to have quite a few, more than a few services underneath it. First one is SageMaker, Amazon SageMaker, Amazon Augmented AI. Now, AI is all the buzz now. And if you've paid attention to what AI can do recently, I mean, this new field is going to change the world, actually. It's going to change a lot of things. So definitely something to keep an eye on. And again, we'll do a deep dive into these sections in subsequent videos. Next one is Amazon Code Guru. That sounds pretty interesting. Amazon DevOps Guru, Amazon Comprehend, Forecast, Amazon Forecast, Amazon Fraud Detector. That's also interesting, right? Amazon Kendra, Amazon Personalize, Amazon Poly, Amazon Recognition with a K, Amazon Text Tracked, Amazon Transcribe, Amazon Translate, Amazon Deep Composer, Amazon or AWS Deep Composer, AWS Deep Lens, AWS Deep Racer, AWS Panorama, Amazon Monitron, sounds robotic there, Amazon Health Lake, Amazon Lookout for Vision, Amazon Lookout for Equipment, Amazon Lookout for Metrics, Amazon Lex, Amazon Comprehend Medical, and Amazon Omics. That's also interesting. The next section we want to look at is analytics. We have Athena, Amazon Redshift, EMR, Cloud Search, Amazon Open Search Service, Kinesis. We have QuickSight, Data Pipeline, AWS Data Exchange, AWS Lake Formation, MSK, AWS Glue, Data Brew, AWS FinSpace, AWS Glue, AWS Clean Rooms. That's interesting. All right, we'll get to it. All right, the next one we want to look at is the next category is security, identity, and compliance. Under that, we have IAM. I also had to use IAM in my project. And again, it had something to do with identity, right? Like what identity is your application signing in as, right? So I think, but the configuration is very detailed. So there's IAM. There's Resource Access Manager, there's Cognito, there's Secrets Manager, Guard Duty. That sounds interesting. Amazon Inspector, Amazon Macy, IAM Identity Center, which is a successor to AWS Single Sign-On. The next one is Certificate Manager, Key Management Service, Cloud HSM, Directory Service, WAF Shield, AWS Firewall Manager, AWS Artifact, Security Hub, Detective, AWS Signer, AWS Certificate, AWS Private Certificate Authority, AWS Audit Manager, Security Lake, Amazon Verified Permissions. The next category of Amazon services or AWS services, which is AWS stands for Amazon Web Services. So Amazon Web Services cost management category of services, right? So AWS Cost Explorer, AWS Budgets, AWS Marketplace Subscriptions. That's interesting, right? We'll get to it. Some of these titles sound really interesting, and it makes you think of what you can do with it, right? In terms of, let's say you have a client that has a project and they want certain things done, right? They have a website that they want a subscription service applied to, right? All these products are here. So it's good to know what these things do so that in the future, when you're faced with a project from your client or from work, or who knows, you yourself may want to build a project or create a company that does something, right? Provides a service to people. And all these services are here. So it's good to know what these things do. And again, like I said, you can always subscribe to get some developer help from Amazon or the Amazon Developer Marketplace. And there are people there that'll help you, and the prices are not that bad. But we'll get into it as we move along. All right. All right. So again, AWS cost management, cost explorer, AWS budgets, AWS marketplace subscriptions, AWS application cost profiler, AWS billing conductor. The next one is front end web and mobile. This is great. I mean, mobile has taken over the world. And everything is on a handheld device. Your whole life is on a handheld device these days. Losing your handheld your mobile device is almost, you'll feel like your whole identity is gone. It's a big deal. So, all right. So under this section here, we have AWS Amplify, AWS AppSync, Device Farm, Amazon Location Service. Next one is AR and VR. And under that, we have Amazon Sumerian. Okay. The next category of applications is application integration. We have step functions, Amazon App Flow, Amazon Event Bridge, Amazon MQ. And then the next one is simple notification service. We also have simple queue service, SWF, managed Apache Airflow. The next category is business applications. We have Amazon Connect, Pinpoint. We have Amazon Honeycode, Amazon Chime. We have Amazon Simple Email Service, Amazon Work Docs, Amazon Work Mail. That's interesting, right? We have Alexa for Business, AWS Wicker, Amazon Chime SDK. The next section here is end user computing. We have Workspaces AppStream 2.0, Workspaces Web. And then we come down here to the Internet of Things, the IoT, right? So we have IoT Core, Free RTOS, or Free RTOS. And then we have IoT One Click, IoT Analytics, IoT Device Defender, IoT Device Management, IoT Greengrass. Some of these names are interesting, right? It makes you want to find out more. IoT Sitewise, IoT Events, so AWS IoT Fleetwise, IoT RoboRunner, IoT TwinMaker, another interesting name. And last but not least, we have the game development section, and we have Amazon Game Lift and Amazon Game Sparks. So there you have it, all your Amazon services by category. And again, the first one was Amazon Compute, where we have EC2, Lightsail, Lambda, Batch, Elastic, Beanstalk, Serverless Application Repository, AWS Outpost, EC2 Image Runner, and then AWS AP Runner, and the last but not least, AWS SimSpace Weaver. So let's see how many categories we have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So we have 25 categories of Amazon Web Services, and each one of them has several services underneath it. So in the next video, we'll take a look at compute, this category here, and we'll kind of click on all these links, take us to that page and see what's going on, on those pages. Again, you don't have to know everything about all these services. It's good to know what's available, right? What can be done. But you don't have to be a guru at or master each one, obviously. But it's good to know what's out there, okay? Just in case. All right, that concludes our video. We're at 16 minutes. We're probably over 16 minutes. I try to keep the videos under 20 minutes so it's not boring and tedious to listen to, but I think we got a good capture of Amazon Web Services in terms of looking at all the services. So I'll see you in the next video, and we'll take a deeper dive into these services. Thank you.